Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and wax the lid. This is liquid wax resist. This is used for ceramics and like specially made for ceramics. This doesn't require heat to be liquid. And if you look at it, it's a little bit pink because I've put some iron oxide in here, which is gonna stain it. It's not gonna stick, okay? But it's going to change the color of it because I feel like it's really hard to see if you don't have a color. It's just clear originally. So what you want to do is you want to paint this over the seam. Anywhere that you have this, you are not going to have glaze. Okay, so we don't want glaze on the top part of our box because we don't want this to stick. We really shouldn't fire lids and containers separate because if we do that, then you have a very high chance of things warping and not fitting back together later. Okay, so just be careful that you don't get this on your fingertips and then touch your pot and you don't let it drip everywhere. Okay, so just the top of the container or the top of the rim of that container. Okay, so you would do that for the boxes. Okay, you would do the same thing. This was the pot that we did it for when we were in Ceramics 1, where you would paint over the top, same thing. Okay, we would just continue to do that. For the bottom part of this, you want to go ahead and paint this area that it touches, but for the inside of it, we're gonna go ahead and just paint the entirety of the inside top. Okay, this is safer to do this because I can't see the glaze that's on the inside. Gravity is going to pull this down a little bit, and so if it sticks from the inside, then you are sunk. Like you're not going to be able to get that lid off, which makes for a sad project. Okay, so you want that entire inside part. The more you spread this around and the thinner it is, the faster it's going to dry. Okay, so it just depends on when you want to glaze that. I think it's best to go ahead and wait until this isn't sticky, because if you dip this right now in some glaze and then try to wipe it off, you're going to be like wiping off some of the wax and wiping off some of the glaze, and it's just going to all smear together and be really gross. Okay, so I would just go ahead and wax this, sit the lid back on top of the container, and you can see these are the places that I waxed. You can put this back on top. It might stick, whoops. It might stick a little bit just because they're wet, but they're still gonna pull apart, okay? But go ahead and do that. You can sit it on the shelf and let that dry. And then we will be able to glaze once that is dry. You do want to go ahead and wax the bottom with the normal wax that's in the heat plate. Questions?